in recent nights, I'd say probably for a while, word has gotten around of this Sabbat Bishop kind of trying to kind of poke around and pester people for some help with a problem that he's been extremely vague with. Um, a and his name is Bishop Zeta of the San Fernando Valley. It's like right outside of Los Angeles and kind of the northwest side of things. And so eventually, the two of you have been asked to look into whatever problem that he has, because he's been really bothering the Archbishop with this little issue that he's been having. And so it's more of a, okay, fine, we'll send somebody to deal with your little problem. Now, leave me alone. That kind of thing. So, for you, Gerald, this is your big shot, your big chance to prove yourself to Sabbat that you're made of the right stuff. Because you don't know your sire, but you do know some Gangrel in the Sabbat, and from what they've told you, this Sabbat thing, you know, sticking it to elders that want to control what you do, and just everything that they've told you about the Camarilla, the Anarchs, seems like it's the right way to go, and you like a little bit of excitement in your life, for sure. So you've been kind of. Would you say that Gerald would have to be like chosen for this and basically told, "Hey, do this thing," or would he volunteer for it?
If he thinks that he's getting his name up in the ranks,
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely not only looking for thrills, but he's looking to prove himself, and he thrives on being successful
Mm-hmm.
in business and in life and all his ventures. So
Mm-hmm.
he would seek it out if he found out it was available.
Okay. Yeah. So you found out and you volunteered. You're like, okay, you know what? I volunteer. Let's go. And so for Carolina, um,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say maybe you're sent out from your quiet little town in Mexico to take care of this issue, because you've been around for a while. Among other Cainites, you are considered definitely experienced and definitely an elder vampire for good reason, because you've been around, you've seen some shit. You've dealt with the first kind of incarnation of the Inquisition and survived through a very difficult time in Cainite history. So you've been kind of asked to take care of this problem that's kind of popped up in what's essentially the beachhead of Sabbat operations. This valley is where the Sabbat kind of funnels resources and Cainites both into and out of the United States. And if rumors are correct, this is a big deal. So I would say, Gerald, so you're both given an address to meet up at, to meet each other, and then you have the address of the bishop that is going to give you your mission. So, what kind of car does Karolina have?
I honestly don't think that she'd have one.
Mm-hmm.
It would be one of her ghouls that's
Okay.
driving her.
Okay.
She's very old-fashioned that way.
Okay. So, who do you think is the better driver? Abraham or Ethan?
Ethan, probably.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd say Ethan has definitely become your favorite driver.
Mm-hmm.
He isn't reckless. He knows how to keep calm under pressure. And so he's driving, and he knows how to keep a low profile, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And so are you kind of in the back seat of this car, or
Yep.
are you in the? Okay,
She's in the back.
yeah. So, okay. So yeah, so Ethan is driving. Abraham he's kind of dozed off a little bit, kind of taking a little nap while you guys are driving to the place. So what kind of car is Gerald driving?
Well, Gerald, owning his own mechanic shop called Friendly Finklesteins,
Mm-hmm.
has souped up his very own 1970 Ford Mustang.
Okay.
Orange with black pinstripes. He has decked this thing out. It is loud as hell. The entire city of Los Angeles can hear him when he starts this thing.
Okay.
And he takes pride in his driving. He's a pretty skilled driver,
Mhm.
and he likes to go pretty fast.
All right. So you guys meet up, and you meet up on this this boulevard called Van Nuys Boulevard. It's a popular kind of cruising spot on the weekends, and let's say it's like a Saturday. So there's all kinds of restaurants, bars. There's dance clubs and shops. There's brightly lit neon signs illuminating this 10-mile stretch. There's muscle cars, convertibles, hot rods cruising up and down, blaring this music. And there's a very small police presence on this boulevard. They're pretty lax, thanks to the amount of money that's spent here every weekend. And so let's say you guys you meet up in a parking lot outside of a diner, like, and Karolina probably shows up in her car first, and then Gerald is heard from a mile away. Just this loud Mustang. Did Gerald take off the muffler?
Oh, absolutely. There was a thing called Whistler Tips in a video online once. If it existed in the 70s, he would have put it on his tailpipe. That's how loud he wants this thing to be.
Okay. I'm not sure if that's a thing in the 1970s, but let's say
No,
it is, because it sounds like
okay.
it would be.
He designed it. We'll say that. He worked in the shop. He made his own tailpipe sound enhancer.
Okay.
That just screams as he comes down the street.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so Gerald, you come in your Mustang, and you roll up next to this kind of a light blue Ford Pinto, and that's the car that Carolina is riding in. And you've both been given descriptions of each other's cars. Um, and so is Gerald gonna come out of his car first?
First thing he's going to do is eye up and down that Pinto, and he's very unimpressed. He has seen better things pull up to a church on a Sunday. You know, he's not liking this car. He's not. It's a bad first impression for him. He's very bored with this car.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he'll get out and he'll give a little nod to whoever's inside the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see there's these two young men in the car. One is driving. The other looks like he's kind of dozed off and taking like a little like car nap. And then in the back, you see. Well, Lyssa, do you want to describe?
I'm actually drawing it right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm drawing it right now. But it's clear it's a woman. She's kind of in a habit. And she has a veil covering her face.
Interesting.
But she's not like moving. There's like an almost like unsettling stillness about her.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
It does. Real quick, there is some audio feedback coming into Thomas again.
Oh, okay. Let me just lean away from Lyssa.
All right, I didn't want your audio to get ruined or anything if you ended up wanting to listen to this later on. So he's gonna take a look in the back seat. He's gonna notice Carolina, but his eyes are gonna revert back to the guy in shotgun who's sleeping. And this is a big night for Gerald.
Yeah.
So he's gonna kind of take offense to that, and he's gonna take both palms and slap him on the hood of this Pinto, and snap his fingers. Hey, jabroni! What's the deal, bub? Are we here to work or sleep? What kind of mooks have I been put with on this job?
And this guy that's been kind of dozing, half asleep, he like snaps awake, and he's like, "What the fuck, man?" And that's when he gets out of the car. And he's this kind of tall, blonde kid. Kind of looks like a football player or some kind of like college athlete. And like, but yeah, he's like, he actually starts to like, he gets out of the car and he steps up to actually like climb over the hood, and he's like, "You want to go?" And you see the driver's like, "Hey, no, get off my car, man."
And Gerald is a 5'5", stocky build guy who has not gotten out of his mechanic slacks. This dude is not one to dress or one to look, but he's no stranger to this football vibrato.
Yeah.
So he's gonna look up at the guy in the hood and then look at the driver. He's like, "Listen, bud. First of all, any damage done to this car would be a favor. This thing is a hunk of junk. Okay? Stop by friendly Finklesteins. I'll show you what real cars are made of."
And I think at that point, Carolina is going to step out of the car. She's kind of a tall, lanky, like, rail thin sort of lady. And her veil is still down, so most of her face is covered. And she just she steps out, closes the door calmly behind her, and she says, boys, let's not fight now. And it's probably one of the sweetest voices that you guys have ever fucking heard.
How tall is she?
I'd say 6 foot, which was super tall for gals back then.
So he's gonna look up at her, kind of fix his shirt a little bit, take a little, breath through the nose, size up the other two, and nod. Hey, she's right. No surprise that she's the boss of this operation. I'll say that.
Yeah, and the taller guy that climbed over the hood of the car, he immediately steps down when Karoline steps out of the car. And he kind of like he crosses his arms and he still looks kind of upset, but he takes a step back to cool off a little bit.
And she's just gonna say good boy. Again, in that very soft, like, it's almost like she's singing. It sounds so sweet.
He's Gerald's gonna make kind of a disturbed face at the vibe of this whole thing. He's gonna look around for a bit and he'll be like, you know what, whatever. He's gonna look at Karoline. So, they didn't mention a veil in the description. What's the deal here? What's going on? You hiding something? Is this,
I'm keeping up appearance.
Gotcha. The whole, masquerade, right? Been learning. I've been learning a thing or two,
You must be a young one.
Young enough, but learning quick, and, let's just say I'm causing a little ruckus in the scene, You might have heard of me by now. Gerald Finklestein? If you haven't heard of my auto body shop, you've heard of me in the Sabbat.
And she's gonna think for a little bit. Would she have heard of him?
Well, since you haven't really been, I imagine you haven't really been operating in this area. I kind of have the feeling that Karoline would probably maybe not be on the front lines per se. Okay, I'm guessing since you're nodding, you agree. So you're not really familiar with the more kind of the packs that kind of roam around. So you probably, yeah, you haven't heard of this guy.
And she's just gonna lie and say, of course I have.
And he gets a definite little ego boost from that. A little bounce in his step as he kind of paces around. Yeah, of course. yeah. Like to say I've heard of you too. Obviously these mooks have. They're worshiping the ground you walk on. Well, what's the deal with Jabroni 1 and Jabroni 2?
And she's gonna kind of like tilt her head a little bit at the name Jabroni, because that's something that she's never heard before. And she's gonna look at the boys and just say, well, they are part of my sect.
A sect? Oh. And he doesn't even know what a sect is. He's like, the hell is a sect?
And do any of the boys speak up or no?
Ethan's just keeping quiet, but Abraham's gonna kind of speak up and say she means we're part of her circle, buddy.
Ah, the circle. Hey, and listen, I ain't your buddy, okay? Not today. Probably not tomorrow. Probably not next week, okay? Not riding wheels like this, okay? Not a chance. Not a chance, bud.
I'm not your bud, pal. It's not my shitty car anyway. And Ethan, the driver, kind of looks like he's been kind of slapped across the face because it is his car that's being shit on.
Anyway, enough about that. Enough about the circled sect, whatever you want to call it. That's fine. I'm Gerald. I take it you're Carolina. We got Jabroni 1 and Jabroni 2. I don't care to know their names. That's as much as I want to know about them is as much as I've seen. He drives a shit car. This dude sleeps in the job. Fine. So, what do you say we hop on a real set of wheels and head to where we're gonna go?
And Carolina's gonna look at the car that this guy fucking came up in, and what do the boys think? Because she doesn't really know much about cars.
Yeah, so Abraham's going to be all on board for hopping in the Mustang. Ethan kind of is still, he feels kind of like injured and insulted that his car's basically been, his little Pinto's been basically shit on and insulted. And he's like, yeah, my car's perfectly fine.
And Carolina is gonna go up to Ethan, and she's gonna gently touch his face and just say, "Come now, little. Let's go."
And he's gonna shut off the engine to the Pinto, make sure it's locked, and he's gonna give it maybe like one last look before he just resigns and goes into the Mustang.
And as the Pinto engine shuts off, Gerald is genuinely shocked. That thing was fucking running? Are you kidding me? What do you got, kittens in the engine? Hold on. Let me show you what balls are made of. What was his name? Ethan? You know what? Jabroni 2. You can't even be Jabroni 1 with a car like that. And he's gonna turn the key to the Mustang. The whole thing's gonna shake as a huge black cloud of smoke shoots out. Like the entire ground shakes as this car starts up. It is obnoxious.
And Carolina's gonna just make a face behind her veil that is mostly hidden. It's like a tulle fabric, so you can kind of see through it, but it's very vague back there. But she makes a face like it looks like disgust, especially when she sees the smoke go into the air, and I'm assuming there's like black smoke that comes out.
Oh yeah, everywhere. So yeah, once they're all sitting inside, he's going to intentionally rev the engine while it's still set in park, and look, is Carolina in the back, I assume, or is she in the front seat? Like, where is she sitting? Does she prefer the back seat? Or
she'd probably prefer the back seat.
So he'll lean his hand on the passenger seat. Which one's in the front with me, Ethan or Abraham?
I'd say
Abraham, probably.
Yeah, Abraham's probably in the front.
All right, so he'll lean his hand behind Abraham's seat and peek back towards Carolina. Kind of tilt his head up. Hold on to your veils. This thing goes way faster than a Pinto. And they'll throw it in gear and start heading towards their location.
Okay. All right, and then so as you zoom down this boulevard to the Bishop Zeta's address. Like I said before, there's the bright lights. There's this city is just alive with activity at night. You even pass by a few fire engines going down the road and all kinds of stuff. And so you drive up the boulevard, and then you find the address kind of the outskirts of the city. It's this junkyard that's kind of hidden into you go down this maze of side streets. The shops and restaurants kind of fade away into suburbs, and then the suburbs fade into warehouses, and then it's just empty lots on the outskirts of the city, just filled with tall grass. And this junkyard sits kind of isolated between two hills, and the road leading up to it, the pavement just fades into dirt and gravel, and you drive through this chain link fence. And there's these stacks of old cars and piles of tires, just ancient refrigerators and all kinds of other junk too. And you eventually come up to this long, rusty, white trailer that's just being held up on blocks. And there's these 5 wooden steps that lead up to an open door, and you hear this kind of loud music blasting through.
Gerald's gonna throw the car and park,
Mm-hmm.
look around, look back towards Karoline, look back towards the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is where we're fucking going? Are you kidding me? What is this? Who we meeting, like a trailer park king? What is going on here? We're in a fucking junkyard.
And Carolina's just gonna look around. She definitely seems unimpressed. And she's gonna explain that, not every vampire coven, as you mortals like to call them. Well, you're not mortal anymore.
Not me, mortal.
But not every coven lives in a palace.
Clearly. I'll tell you one thing. I'm gonna need a little pep in my step before we go in here, huh? And he's gonna reach in his back pocket and pull out a bag of white powder,
Mm-hmm.
dump it over the dash,
Oh my god.
and blow a huge line. And
Alright.
he's gonna look around like, who wants one? Who wants one before we go in?
And I think that the boys would look at it like, holy shit. Because drugs, unless they are part of a holy ritual trademark, are forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly forbidden. And they both kind of look at Carolina, and she's, still sitting prim and proper behind the veil. But she doesn't say anything for a few moments, and then she just says, "He is clearly not a follower of what we believe, my children. It is all right."
And that puts them a little more at ease. Ethan still looks a little unnerved, but like Abraham looks like he wants some. But he's holding himself back.
And he's gonna nod and be like, I definitely don't believe whatever the hell you guys are talking about. I'll tell you what I do believe in. Donuts, baby! And he's gonna rip the car into gear and just do a huge, obnoxious donut, kicking up all dirt and dust before he settles the car back down and lets out a woo! Fuck yeah! And then he'll turn the key and turn the car off.
Okay, yeah. So Abraham and Ethan are gonna stay back and watch the car while the two of you take care of your Sabbat business.
And Gerald will open the door for Karoline.
And she's going to look up at him, and you can see a smile behind the veil. Though it's clear that the smile isn't like your standard pretty girl smile.
And
There's something different about it.
I'll nod back, hold the door open for her, wait for her to exit,
Yeah, she'll do that.
and I'll shut the door behind her. And he's gonna lean in towards Ethan. If I see a fucking ding on this Mustang, it's your jabroni ass.
And she puts a hand on his shoulder. What's his name again?
Gerald.
Gerald. She puts a hand on Gerald's shoulder, and her hand is like the only part of her, like her hands are the only part of her that's like exposed, and her skin is like freckled, and her nails are very neatly kept, and her fingers are very like bony, and she just says, "Be still. They're good, boy."
He's kind of gonna shiver when he feels these bony, cold fingers touch his shoulder. Ugh. He's gonna look back at her and be like, yeah, sure, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, we're all cool. We're cool. Yeah. it'll lean off the car and start heading towards the trailer.
All right, and then when you guys step inside, Bishop Zeta, the guy you're supposed to meet, he sits at this kind of cluttered desk. He's wearing this unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt, and he has like this kind of like beer belly gut hanging out over his waistband. And the room is like sweltering hot. And there's a small rotating fan that's like clicking repeatedly in the corner. And on the other side of the opposite side where you guys come in, there's these long strips of flypaper hanging from the door frames. And they're just littered with flies as like just the flies are being repelled by this guy's like supernatural aura as a vampire, and they're getting stuck in the flypaper, and they're just like dotted and covered in like twitching little fly bodies. And there's this woman next to the bishop that's sitting on this bar stool, there's this lines of just cocaine from this small mound on the desk in front of her. And then there's another woman in a bikini that's sitting in like an adjoining room, and she's just watching television and just looking bored as hell as she's painting her toenails. And the guy, he stands up as the two of you come in, and she's like, and he says, "Good, finally, you're here. Heard you from a fucking mile away."
Karoline is gonna look at Gerald.
Gerald is eyeing this place up, seeing the fly paper, seeing this dude's fat gut in the Hawaiian shirt. He likes the cocaine. He likes that part. But he's gonna look back at Karoline and be like, "This is a fucking bishop?"
She's gonna nod.
What kind of... I mean, where are the robes? Where is the steeples and the fucking... Well, am I confused on what a bishop is? This dude looks like he just crawled out of a fucking hole.
Was that loud?
Yeah, he said that out loud.
Alright, so Zeta is... He just immediately looks pissed off. And he says, "Listen here, motherfucker." And he reaches into his desk, pulls out a this revolver, and slams it down on the desk. And he says, I'm sorry, I'm just having a brain fart right now. But yeah, no, not a revolver. He pulls out a hatchet and slams it down on the desk, and like cocaine dust like just flies off from like the impact, and he buries like the blade of this hatchet deep into the desk. And he says, "Listen here, motherfucker. I know it isn't all pretty and shit. But I've been going through a lot lately. So if you want to give me a reason to let out my anger and split your skull open, I'll be happy to fucking oblige. Or
And as he's talking, Karolina, she's gonna hold her spindly hands out and she's gonna gently approach and she's just gonna say, "Be still, Bishop. He is new. He is a child."
And Zeta just kind of like does this growling snarl as he like just kind of bares his fangs, and he's like, right, new blood.
We must always show patience to the young.
And even though he seems to kind of settle down a little bit, you guys are getting the feeling now that like he's on the edge of like almost like snapping into frenzy. Almost. But yeah, he calms down a little bit, takes a few deep breaths, and he's like, right, patience to the young. And
Right. What she said.
And she's gonna smile behind the veil and say, good. And kind of talk him down the best that she can. And she's going to take a seat at a nearest available chair, very prim and proper. And she's just gonna say, all right, now, tell me what's happened.
And he takes another deep breath, and he's like, yeah, so for months now we've been smuggling packs across the border from Tijuana into Camarilla cities. The job is to poke those fucks in the White Tower and see where their weaknesses are. A fire here, murder there, whatever it took to stir the hornet's nest. Works like a fucking charm, that is until those stuck-up pricks got onto us. Then our pack stopped coming back. And he gives like a dramatic pause as he tries to like wiggle the hatchet free, and he just kind of eventually yanks it out of the desk, and there's just this gaping hole where it used to be. And he continues and says, 3 days ago, one of the first packs we sent, the Blue Devils, lost one of their members. I mean, literally lost him. The fucker just up and vanished. So a Templar came in, poked around, and what did he find? The Blue Devils all had their brains scrambled, and he taps his head. And not recently, but from the time they first embraced this packmate. And he pauses, and the woman next to him, she's doing her thing, taking hits from, the lines of cocaine, and he just pulls her over and like bites into her neck, and it's just this long moment of her being drained dry, and when he finally lets her go, she just falls dead to the floor, and he kind of rubs some of the blood like into his gums, and he says, yeah, that's the good shit, that's what I needed. And then he continues, and he says, so this missing Cainite, he goes by the name of Sawyer. The Templar thinks he's a spy, but somehow he was able to shrug off the vinculum and had been feeding information back to his leash holders. He must have thought they were onto him soon and so split. But Lady Luck's on our side. There's a biker gang up in Bakersfield. They call themselves the Raptors. Anarchs, but so is every other lick up here, it seems. At least they'd rather make a quick buck, and he kind of rubs his fingers together, than make a statement. Anyway, these Raptors heard we were on the lookout for this asshole, and so when they found him, they staked him and gave us a call. Figured we'd pay big to get him back. And we are going to pay.
And do you need for fun?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Do you need for funds?
Oh. Yeah, and he shakes his head and no. And he reaches under his desk and pulls out this big briefcase. And he pops it open. And he says, $50,000.
Holy shit. Gerald's gonna kind of walk up beside Karoline and just look into the case. Oh, did he open the case?
Oh yeah,
Or
he opened the case.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna look it over.
Yeah.
Sure as hell looks like 50 large.
Yeah, and as you like kind of lean it a little bit, that's when he like snaps it shut in your face. And he says, 50,000 for that Sawyer fucker. And then he kind of gives a small pause and says, "Oh, do you two have any questions?" And you can start to see that the cocaine is kind of starting to hit his system. He looks kind of like a little twitchy. Oh, but he's willing to answer any questions or concerns that you guys might have.
And Carolina's gonna look around and she's just gonna say, how do you know this isn't a trap? You said they reached out to you. They're handing him to you? There has to be a catch, other than the money. You know how the Anarch.
Nah, these guys, they're in it for the money. They're a bunch of bike-riding neo-Nazis. They don't care about their cause. They just want a quick buck. Their leader's Cyrus. That's his name. Apparently he fought in World War II or something, but yeah. He just cares about his gang and making money.
And she's gonna nod. And she's gonna look back to Gerald and she's gonna ask, do you have any questions, little one?
And he's gonna look at his feet and look back up. He doesn't like the term little one because of his height, obviously, but he'll shrug it off. What do we got for a time frame on this here gig?
Yeah, the exchange is tomorrow at 10. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. So you've got
Okay.
enough time to get there.
Alright, and what do we do with this guy once we have him?
Bring him back to me and I'll interrogate him.
What if he puts up a fight? Can we bring him back, not moving, or...
We'll simply stake him.
Okay.
We'll bring him back to you alive, Mr. Bishop.
Yeah, I don't want him dead. Cut his legs off, cut his arms off, I don't care. I want him in one piece.
Of
All right.
course.
Or multiple pieces if you have to. But don't kill the little shit.
Done.
Alright, and then he slides the briefcase over across the desk to the both of you.
And Carolina's gonna take it.
Yeah, and Zeta, he starts kind of being a little more twitchy, and he says, remember, you got enough time to get there, and then I suggest you get there first, wait out the day, and then be there at 10 for the meeting.
Of course. We have ghouls that can watch over us during the day. Do you have anyone that you would like to send as well, just as insurance?
Yeah, and he shakes his head and is like, no. The two of you are enough.
And she's gonna nod. And look to Gerald and be like, come now, little one, let's go.
Alright, how about a bump for the road, huh? This stuff looks primo.
No, it's my shit. That's my shit, Peeps Creek. If you want a snack, and he points to the adjacent room where the woman is watching TV, and he says, "You can have a drink off of her, but this shit's mine." And he slaps the pile of cocaine.
Whatever. I'm good. I got my own stash. I like mixing and mixing. You know what I mean? But it's all good. It's all good. We're on our way.
Yeah, and Zeta, he gives like a nod and he says, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Pipsqueak."
You say pipsqueak?
Yeah, I did. What are you gonna do about it?
He's gonna start clenching his fist. And
Carolina, she's gonna say, all right, boys, calm now. Times are tough right now. Let's not kill each other yet.
he's just gonna fraggin' like Marv from Home Alone. Fraggin'. And he's just gonna keep eyeing Zeta down, but he's gonna back up with his eyes locked on him, and swing open the trailer door and back his way out.
Okay. Alright, so the time right now is around midnight. It's a 2-hour drive to Bakersfield. So you can get there pretty early and then spend the day there, and then just have Abraham and Ethan watch over the two of you, and then make it on time for the meeting tomorrow night.
2 hours driving a Pinto.
I mean, you do have the Mustang.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're shaving off at least 15 minutes in this Mustang. But yeah, no, that sounds like a good.
Okay. Alright. So, you guys have 2 cars. Does Gerald want to just abandon the Pinto completely?
He would definitely prefer it. He doesn't want to even be seen associating with that thing.
And what about Carolina?
She doesn't care.
Oh, okay.
All cars to her are the same.
God, don't let Gerald find out about that. He'll lecture her for hours.
Hey, Josie. Good kitty. Alright. And then... So Zeta gives you the address to the bar and meeting place of where this exchange is going to happen. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't take long to get to Bakersfield. It's about a 2-hour drive. And Abraham and Ethan are both able to watch over the two of you during the day. Well, where do you guys hide out during the day? You rent out a cheap motel, or?
Yeah, I was gonna say a motel room.
Okay.
And also, I would think Gerald, especially being in a body shop, would work up some sort of tinting or shielding for his car in case he gets caught in it during the day. Not that he would elect to sleep in it, but say it were to come down to it, I think he at least has options to sheathe the car from sunlight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, motel would probably be ideal.
Sorry, I just had to pet the cat.
As you should.
As you should.
As I'm being held hostage, basically. Because she has,
Josie.
the most thinnest temper. Just like that.
Yep.
God.
Like she's rubbing up on me and growling.
Well, the cat.
God, I heard the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird. She's rubbing up on my hand and then she's growling
Yeah.
and lashing out at me. But I'm not afraid of her. It's okay though. Well, we're being held hostage. Let's continue.
Yes. But yeah. So let's see. I actually came up with a name for this bar. Give me a second and I'll go find it. But yeah, so you guys drive from Los Angeles to Bakersfield. That's kind of a little bit like northwest, mostly north, from Zeta's junkyard. And you find the bar kind of on the edge of town. It's called the Dead Dog Saloon. And it's this large place with a huge gravel parking lot. There's motorcycles and pickup trucks that dominate most of the front lot. And then there's 18-wheelers parked around the back. And there's like this kind of flickering neon sign, and it's the bar's name in just bright neon letters, Dead Dog Saloon. And as you guys kind of make your way into the parking lot and find a spot, you can see like a few truckers and other mortals kind of enter the bar. They don't seem to be the guys that you're looking for, though. They're just regular people coming to drink for a while.
And Carolina, she's going to ask that her boys come in with her.
Okay.
Yeah, and Gerald is
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
since there's going to be mortals, she actually puts on Mask of a Thousand Faces.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to take her habit and her veil off. That way she doesn't look too out of place.
Okay.
And she's just gonna look like a young, college girl. Like the girl next door sort of thing.
Okay.
Especially with like kind of the getup that she's got. She's still wearing like the little cross around her neck.
Okay.
But she takes the habit off, she takes the veil off, and she looks normal.
Okay.
Do I need to roll for anything, or?
Let's see. Let me take a look. I would say. Let's go with like a charisma and performance,
All right.
because you are kind of.
Is that a discipline power or no?
That is a discipline power.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, Mask of a
how do I
Thousand.
roll off of this one?
It's. Hold on, let me. Let me take a look.
Oh, here we go. So,
Okay, I guess there's a little bit of setup involved with the dice pools. So actually, just roll a 60-10
all right.
into the chat, and we'll just do it that way. All right, so let's see. So you got a crit, and then 2 successes. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna say it succeeds. So yeah, so you're going for like a college girl kind of look.
Yeah, just kind of this your standard like not too pretty, not too ugly, very
Okay.
average looking gal.
Okay.
But it's clear that it's different than what was originally under the veil.
Okay. All right.
Does
Yeah.
that expand a blood pool point as well? Or-
I believe so.
So there.
There we go. All right. Cool.
So when Gerald sees the veil, she obviously does this while the veil's still on, and then she takes it off.
Yep.
So when he sees the veil come off, he's confused because the shapes look different. Like the facial structure and the bone structure looks different. But
Yep.
he's gonna be like, so
Like even her hands look different.
okay, so everything is like,
Yep.
and I don't think he's seen this trick or this power pulled off yet. So he's a little thrown off. Is it like, so wait, what just happened? Yeah, you're looking all different.
And she's just gonna laugh a little bit. Like she thinks it's cute. And she's going to just say, I'll explain later, after the job is done.
Right. All right.
Time's
he's-
of the essence.
And he'll nod along with that and make his way towards the dead dog. Was that what it is? Dead dog?
Yeah, the Dead Dog Saloon.
Dead dog saloon.
All right. Yeah, and this saloon is like a rough and tumble place. There's this empty stage that's surrounded by barbed chicken wire. There's country music playing on a jukebox, and there's pool tables and dartboards scattered all around the establishment. And it's packed with truckers, bikers, and all kinds of locals. There's a handful of bouncers, and then there's 3 bartenders that are on duty. So how do you guys want to approach this? Are you going to find a table and wait for them to approach you, or are you going to try to find the raptors yourself?
Probably sit down and scope it out first.
Mm-hmm.
And see if anyone else comes in.
Mm-hmm.
She's one gal in a group of 3 guys, so that looks kind of weird anyway.
Yeah.
She probably made herself look like the sister of one of her ghouls,
Mm-hmm.
so kind of related.
Mm-hmm.
But she looks like a very Christian woman.
Okay.
Quick question. Alcohol doesn't do anything for us anymore, right?
Yeah. So alcohol and drugs don't really do anything for vampires anymore. I was going to mention it earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt your wonderful role-playing of Gerald, like, snorting a big pile of cocaine.
Yeah, I think it's more his clinging onto his old lifestyle.
Okay.
And it's like what is that called when you force your mind into thinking something?
It's like
like,
denial, I think. Not denial, but the word is escaping me, but I know denial's part of it.
Right, like nothing's really happening when he snorts
Yeah.
the cocaine, but in his mind it is. Like he thinks he's getting that kick that he used to get, which he's not. But just the action of snorting it makes him. It's one of the ways he holds on to humanity in a weird way.
Uh-huh.
Is by snorting the blow.
Mm-hmm.
But just like that, I think the first thing he's gonna do is go up to the bar and get a drink before he sits down with them and wait.
Okay. Yeah, I know, part of the thing with vampires in this setting is that they can try to, eat food and stuff, but eventually they have to, it has to leave their body somehow. I think usually that's vomiting. So
Oh, so any kind of consumption of food
yeah,
or
I
beverage?
believe so.
Even water.
Yes, even water.
All right,
So
he's not gonna do that.
I mean, we can say that like he's been holding the cocaine in for now. But like if you really want he really wants to go up to the bar and get a drink.
Well, I think he's probably already tried this and
Mhm.
has had to like vomit it out. So knowing that, I'll retract that.
Okay.
And or maybe he gets a drink and just holds it to look like to blend in a little bit.
Oh
You know?
yeah. Okay.
So he'll buy a drink and he'll just kind of hold it by wherever they sit down.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and so you guys find a table and Ethan kind of begins to kind of speak up and say, "Do you want me to?" And then Abraham kind of interrupts and says, "Do you want me to get you a drink, Sister Carolina?"
And she's just gonna shake her head and say, "Thank you, boy." But no.
And he nods, and
And she's actually gonna look at them and look at the bar and say, "Though you both have been very good, why don't you both get yourselves a drink?"
okay, and then so Abraham's gonna go ahead and get himself a drink, and Ethan's gonna be like, "Yeah, get me a beer too," and then Abraham's going to get the drinks, and that's when you see on the other side of the bar, there's these kind of big biker dudes that wearing these vests that on the back say Raptors, just across the back, and their kind of gang emblem is this eagle with bloody talons outstretched, and you see them kind of casting a few looks your way, and it seems like they're kind of sizing you up from a distance.
And Carolina, she's gonna kind of gently point them out and say, "I think that's our quarry."
Gerald's gonna look to where she's pointing, look at the jackets, look back at her, be like, I'm no marketing genius, but they kind of missed out on the opportunity of like a Velociraptor. I was thinking, well, what's the eagle? These guys are a bunch of jabronis that we're doing business with here.
And she's gonna kind of laugh a little bit, and she's gonna say, "Eagles are a part of the raptor family."
What? They are?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, shit. I guess I stand corrected. But so what do we? Well, the briefcase is in the stang, right? Okay, so we got that there. Now, how do we know we can trust these fellas? Well, what do we do?
We demand that we see the parcel first.
Yeah. The parcel. Well, what's that?
The person we've come to buy.
Right. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, the parcel. Yeah. Yeah, we need to see that. That's what we'll tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad I thought of it. Yeah.
And she's gonna kind of laugh a little bit.
But yeah, there's maybe about like 3 of these bikers, and as you guys are talking, one of the raptors comes up to you, and he's this like big, buff, like muscly guy. He's got like the handlebar like mustache, and his head's like completely like shaved bald, and he's kind of eyeing the both of you Carolina in her, good Christian college girl disguise, and Gerald still in his, mechanic's overalls. And then he kind of eyes Ethan for a few moments, just unimpressed, and kind of differs to the two of you, and he says, "You have the cash?"
We do. Do you have the parcel? Hoping that he gets it. And she smiles like this really cute, like good Christian girl smile. It's so innocent.
And he pauses for a moment and kind of makes kind of like a beckoning gesture, and he says, "Come out around back." And he steps away from the table, and the other two guys at his table also get up as he leaves, and then they leave the bar.
And she's gonna take her time. She's gonna wait for her boys to enjoy their drinks, and then she's gonna ask that all of them go out.
Okay.
Because you said there was 3 of them?
Yeah.
So, 3 to their 4.
Yeah. And so Abraham finally comes back with a beer for himself and nothing for Ethan.
Oh no.
And Ethan's just like, "What the fuck, man?" And Abraham's like, "It's loud in here. I didn't hear you." And he's obviously lying.
Yeah,
Like-
and she's just gonna look at them and just say, "Well, Abraham, now you have to share."
Gerald's gonna snicker at that.
Because it's clear that, she could see right through a lie.
Yeah. So Abraham, in this like kind of moment of defiance, and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'll share," and then he just chugs the entire bottle of beer.
Whoa.
She raises an eyebrow at him. And she frowns.
And then maybe there's like a little bit left in the bottle, and he sets it down in front of Ethan. He's like, "Here you go, buddy."
Was Abraham the one that Gerald liked just real quick? Or
Abraham is the tall guy that was about to pick a fight with Gerald.
Okay. Gotcha. Alright, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Think of Abraham as the jock and Ethan as the nerd.
Right. Yeah, he likes Ethan. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And Carolina's just gonna sigh, and she's frowning. And neither of the boys like it when she frowns.
And that's when kind of Abraham just realizes his mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And
And she's not gonna say anything. She's gonna wait for him to figure it out.
yeah. But yeah, and then he says, "I'll be right back." And he goes and gets a beer for Ethan.
Good boy.
But yeah, and then...
That's basically what she's doing. She's conditioning them. This
Right.
whole time, she's like a mother.
Yeah.
But conditioning them to be, pack first.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So one for all sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. And then, but yeah, and then Ethan has his beer, and the 4 of you leave the bar together and go around to the back. And that's where you find this kind of, you find not 3 of the bikers, but 4. And there's the open back of this 18-reeler truck. And the fourth biker waiting for you. He's covered in tattoos, and he has this swastika like tattooed onto his like bald head, like the back of his head. And as you guys approach, he just kind of does what the other bikers are doing and just kind of sizes you up. And did either of you stop to get the money from the car?
I'd say one of the ghouls got it.
Okay, yeah.
One of the boys. She's just gonna call them the boys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so let's say Ethan went and got the money.
Mm-hmm.
So Ethan has the briefcase, and so the fourth biker is gonna size you up, and it's clear that he's in charge. And he kind of stands his ground with his, 3 buddies with him. And he says, "Name's Cyrus. You've got the money?"
And she's gonna gently gesture to Ethan, who has the briefcase.
All right, and then...
And she's standing prim and proper. She's still in her, mask of 1,000 faces.
Okay.
So she's just this, little Catholic girl essentially making a drug deal.
Yeah, and then Cyrus kind of beckons Ethan over, and he's like, "Come on, kid. Let's see the money." And Ethan kind of takes a few steps forward, pops the briefcase open, shows them for a few seconds, and then closes it.
And she's gonna speak up again, and she's gonna say, "And if you need more, I can oblige. Up to a point. Out of my own personal fund.
Right,
But we would like to see the parcel first."
right. Yeah, I'll just take the 50,000. I don't want to be in debt to Sabbat.
And she's gonna smile. Kind of a devilish, knowing smile.
Yeah, and
She tried.
right, and all right, and Sarah says, "All right, if you want to see the parcel, give us the money and hop in the truck. We'll drive you there."
So you don't have him with you.
Of course not, because we don't trust you, and
And why should we trust you? You know I have a point.
well, I'm not about to show you where we keep our goods.
Well, how about we wait here? You go get him. You know we have the money. And why would we leave? You have what we want.
And he seems to think really hard about it for a few seconds.
And her voice is still that really sickly, sweet,
Yeah. And-
almost like mesmerizing.
Yeah, and he for a moment he looks like he doesn't want to go through with that kind of deal, but then he finally nods and he says, "Okay. Yeah, you wait here."
You can even leave one of your boys with us. If you're so unsure. And she's gonna point at, the toughest looking one save for him.
Yeah, and so like, "Nah, I'm not unsure, because I know you guys need this guy badly, from what I've heard."
Well, I don't need him, but I know someone who does.
Touché. Fine. You can wait here. We'll bring the guy. And
And she's gonna nod and kind of fold her hands in front of her, and she's just gonna kind of bow a little bit.
And that's when he kind of calls his guys back, and They hop in the truck, and one guy goes into the truck, and then the other three hop on some bikes, and they drive off. And how long do you want to wait for these guys?
Probably a maximum of 2 hours.
2 hours? Okay. So 2 hours go by, and they don't show.
Hey, where the fuck are these guys? Hey, we had a deal. We bring our 50 grand. Why don't they have them up front and center? That's the deal, right?
Mm-hmm. Which means that something is amiss.
Couple things are amiss. So, I mean, what do we do?
I don't suppose that there's any way that they could follow any sort of tracks in a semi-truck. If it's out in the middle of nowhere, there's been other trucks that have gone by then.
You could probably ask around at the bar and see if there's like a spot where the raptors usually go to, or if there's any other hot spots that they like to frequent. Other than that, tracking them is probably going to be pretty tough.
Alright. And she's going to do another Mask of 1,000 Faces and change her appearance completely.
Okay.
And she's gonna look a little older. She's going to kind of take on the stereotypical, like, reporter look.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she's gonna tuck away the little cross necklace, roll up her sleeves, and I'm assuming that one of the boys has, like, a backpack.
Yeah, I'd say so.
She's gonna take that backpack and she's gonna get, like, a notebook and a paper, or a notebook and a pen, and she's gonna go back into the bar and she's gonna ask around.
Okay.
And she's just gonna phrase it, "I'm a reporter that's investigating the raptor.
Okay.
Do you have any information on where they like to hide?
Go
or
ahead.
Where they hang out at?"
Go ahead and do another 60-10 roll for me,
Yeah.
and then spend another blood point because you're using the power again. And this time you actually did better than last time. So that's 4 successes. So yeah, you definitely adopt the reporter persona. And then you ask around the bar about the raptors. And
she still looks, like, really innocent.
Yeah.
That's something that she can't really help.
Okay. But yeah, so asking around the bar, you do pick up that there's this kind of barn house that they go to. Nobody really seems to know what they do over there, but they have seen the raptors kind of come and go from that barn. And it's kind of somewhere out in the boonies. It's like this abandoned barn that nobody goes to anymore.
Okay, so she's just gonna scribble all this down, and she still has that kind of prim and proper sort of posture. But other than that, you know, she's definitely hitting the guise of being a reporter.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody that would take a look at her would just think that she's an old-fashioned, like, conservative lady.
Yeah.
But yeah. And she's gonna get the information and head back outside.
Okay.
And meet her boys, all 3 of them, and explain what she learned.
Okay.
And Gerald's gonna see her transform a second time and kind of piece it together a little bit. That his first thought was like, was this her younger self that she turned into? Like, did she turn back to her living life? And then when he sees her change completely into like an older lady looking like this reporter, he's starting to piece together that, like, his own abilities that he's developed on himself, he's realizing that she's got her own abilities that he just hasn't seen yet.
Yep.
But yeah, he'll taking that information and say, all right, well, back in the stang then? Off to that barn or what?
And she's gonna nod. And she's gonna look at the boys and kind of gesture to the car and kind of herd them toward the car in a very motherly way.
Yeah, and they'll get in the car.
And he'll rev that loud engine up and start heading towards the destination.
All right, and then as you guys leave the parking lot for the Dead Dog Saloon and start driving down the dirt road towards this barn that you were told about, that's when kind of driving through this kind of hilly country, and that's when Abraham spots them and calls out, and you see these 4 bikes kind of coming up over the hill, 2 on each side, and it's the Raptors, and they're driving down, and it's an ambush.
And she's going to... Carolina, she's going to look at whoever has the money. I think it's still Ethan.
Yeah, it's Ethan.
And she's just going to say, burn it.
Okay.
Whoa, but burn it!
Burn the money. They clearly don't care about it. I knew this was a trap.
Well, I mean, we could still use the money, right? I mean, that's 50 large, you know? I mean, think of the shop upgrades.
And she's just going to look at him and say, do you think our lives are worth 50?
I mean, us burning it, seems like they kind of got an idea anyway, no? I mean, you think don't...
If we burn it, they won't know what happened to it.
All right, what about the briefcase?
Throw it out the window.
He's gonna frown, thinking of all that money. But you got it all right.
And she hates fire, because that's a vampire thing. They hate
Oh, yeah.
fire. So she's going to have one of her boys do it.
Okay.
So basically just take the stack of money, light it, wait for it to burn halfway through, and then just toss it out.
Okay. So even so the Sabbat do have this thing where they kind of basically play with fire and see who can resist the longest. But even being in close proximity to fire, kind of puts the beast side of you on edge.
Even if it's controlled.
Even if it's controlled, and there is that chance of frenzy. You still want to do it. Yeah? Okay. So, both of you, let's see. Hold on, let me look up the rules really quick. Actually, let me just scour through the book really quick. Let's see.
Because we might need that frenzy.
Yeah.
This is all planned.
I'm just going to look it up on Google. Let's see. Let's see if it gives me... Alright, you know what? So what I'm going to do is... Let's see. So it's going to be a... difficulty 8, so you have to beat at 8 or better in order to fight this frenzy.
Fuck.
Because
How many am I rolling? Just one?
I would say under scroll down. So roll. So it's gonna be either instinct or self-control. Looks like for both of you that's 3 dice. So 3d10. All right.
We both rolled really well.
All right. So you both rolled really well. So
3 successes, right, for both of us?
it's actually 2 successes for Gerald, and then Lyssa got a 10, so I believe that's a critical. So
That's right. You said it was an 8. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So Lyssa got 3 and I got 2, right?
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna say you guys succeed. So Ethan opens up the briefcase and pulls out the lighter and starts lighting the money on fire. Kind of like you, Gerald, Abraham is not thrilled. Doesn't seem thrilled at all with the idea. But he's in the front, so he can't really like twist around to stop it from happening. But the cash just lights up like kindling, and even seeing it in your rearview mirror, it like you can feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end, and you grip the steering wheel just a little bit tighter, or not a little bit, but tighter, like you're white knuckling it. And even for you, Karolina, just the fire, you want to get as far away from it as possible, but you fight that urge to flee. And then the cash goes up in flames, and Ethan rolls down the window really quickly, because this is the time of like hand crank windows, and tosses the briefcase out. And I'm gonna say that's when the bikes start closing in, and you hear gunshots as bullets ping off the car.
No.
Do either of the boys have weapons of their own?
I'm gonna say
I would assume they would if they're
Yeah.
bodyguards at this point. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's kind of what they are.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Abraham has a pistol, and like between the both of them, Abraham's the better fighter, and then Ethan does have like a knife that he keeps on him. So Abraham, like a few gunshots go through the passenger side window, and Abraham kind of like knocks the window out with his elbow and leans out of the car and starts shooting his gun. And then give me just one moment as I try to find. Oh, the cat is not in a good mood today.
Oh no.
But yeah, Abraham's shooting out the window. The 4 bikers are shooting the car. There's glass shattering. The Mustang has been damaged. And
Oh no, not the Mustang.
No.
and there's like bullet holes in the side of the car door. You think maybe like one of the bullets might have like nicked you, Gerald, but like the adrenaline from the fire's still kicked in.
Yeah, I'm thinking the fire, adrenaline, and then like the haze of his most beloved object getting the window smashed and bullets belted in. Gerald is straight up on a kick right now, and he's fucking livid.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina, she's gonna lean forward and she's gonna put her hand on the back of Gerald's seat and she's just gonna say, "Hit the brakes."
And instinctively, he will do that. He'll rather slam on the brakes.
Okay. So yeah, you slam on the brakes and everybody jolts forward. Poor Abraham, who was like leaning out of the car window, I was thinking like torso out, firing. He's sent flying out of the car, and he tumbles into the dirt. And you can see he probably dropped the gun at some point while he was falling forward out of the car. And yeah, he looks roughed up really bad. And the bikes kind of drive forward maybe for like a few dozen feet. And then that's when they start to kind of circle around.
And by that point, Carolina, she's already out of the car and running to her servant,
Okay.
making sure that he's still alive after that.
Gerald's eyes are wide open, and he's like knuckle white on the steering wheel, and like finally everything starts settling in, and he's just gonna scream, "My fucking car!" And like that's, with all that's going on, that's still the main issue on his mind.
All right, and then so Carolina jumps out of the car to tend to Abraham. Ethan also jumps out to go after her, and the bikers, one of the bikes breaks off from the group and kind of goes after Abraham, like a lion would go after
Injured zebra.
an injured zebra that's broken off from the herd. Carolina, do you have celerity?
No.
All right. So you try to run.
Could I have taken celerity as a Nosferatu?
You could have, I think.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
I would have if I knew.
That was my fault. But I still
I
wanted.
thought that I only had obfuscate, animalism, and potence. I thought that
Okay.
was all I could choose from.
Okay, that was my bad. Yeah,
Could
that's
you maybe swap out animalism for celerity? Hand wave it, or
Yeah, because I feel like she would have celerity,
Oh yeah.
at least a point of it.
Okay. You know what? Go ahead and add a point of celerity.
Okay.
So,
I'll take away animalism.
No, you don't have to take away animalism. Just add celerity on top of that.
Just one dot.
Yeah, just one dot.
One.
All right. So what ends up happening is the biker hits the pedal to the metal to run Abraham over, and with celerity you can activate that supernatural swiftness to try to intervene before it's too late.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and spend a blood point.
She cares about her boys.
And then, just in the nick of time, you scoop Abraham up
Could I just shove the bike?
if you want to. Do you want to just, like, tackle the biker?
Basically what she's trying to do is get there first and shove the bike away.
Okay,
because it's a bike, so it doesn't take much to shove it.
that's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
And scary.
Can I help you? Josie, are you hungry? Do you want some food? I'll be right back.
All right, let's put a pause on it. I'm gonna pause the recording too.
Okay.
There we go. All right, so running at the bike with celerity. So I did a little bit of brushing up on the frenzy rolls while we had our little break. So since Karoline is rushing to the rescue of a loved one in danger, since she does care about her followers, I'm gonna say that provokes another frenzy.
Okay, so what do I have to roll? 3d10?
So give me just one moment to look at your sheet. So that is gonna be, let's see. Alright, so do you want to try to resist it, or do you want to go into frenzy but attempt to guide your actions?
I'm gonna guide it.
Okay, so that's going to be an instinct roll, so that's a 3d10. And then the difficulty, I'm going to say, is going to be a 7. Alright. That's a crit. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna say, so
Bless my dice today.
so that's when the mask of 1,000 faces just completely drops. So is she wearing the kind of, is she still in the reporter outfit? Or has
She was in the same outfit that she was wearing before, so it's like a long skirt that's got like a cinched waist belt.
Okay.
And then she has your standard heels of the era, and then kind of just like a blouse, like a long sleeve blouse.
Okay. So yeah.
I did draw it. It's like this, but without the habit.
Okay.
So she doesn't have the habit on.
Okay.
She doesn't have the cross on right now. She's just in like a red shirt,
Okay.
like a red button-up shirt,
Okay.
and a black dress.
Okay. All right. So you kind of just go into this frenzy after seeing, Abraham in danger. You throw yourself in front of the bike. So since you rolled that success, I'm gonna let you do 2 actions. So you
Okay.
said you wanted to push the bike over.
Yeah,
And
to
then-
push it, and then if he tries to resist, she's gonna grab him.
Okay.
But she's not good at fighty stuff.
All right. So yeah. So you.
So it's like this desperate
Yeah.
type of, kind of like the stereotypical like motherly, like frantically, franticism.
Yeah. Okay.
Franticism, is that the word? Franticness?
I think so.
Okay.
But yeah. So how I'm picturing it is, you push this bike off course, just as it's a few feet away from running you and Abraham over. And this bike kind of just like tumbles, kind of rolls out of control. Like the guy has trouble steering it, and then he just spins out. And then and this guy is definitely broken, probably his legs from the fall. Or from losing control of his bike, as your heightened, frenzied senses just hear the snap of bone, and he's still moving, and
She doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
She doesn't want him to move anymore.
And that's when you just kind of guide yourself towards this guy. The mask of 1,000 faces just drops, and you just throw yourself on top of this guy and just rip out his throat. And the the blood tastes potent, like you can just taste it. This guy was a vampire, and so you just dig into him, and soon enough, he tries to fight you off. He fires off his pistol, but he just pushes his arm away to the side, and you just tear into him with your teeth. And he tries to fight back, but eventually just goes limp, and his body starts to wither and decay as he's dead. Truly dead. And,
Boy, howdy. So do I get stuff for killing him like that? Like blood pool stuff? Because you get blood pool from feeding, right?
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna say yeah. So go ahead. So you're back at your max of 13. And so Gerald, what would you like to do while this is happening?
How far are they from the car at this point?
I want to say like somewhere
Less than 50 feet.
less than 50 feet. I'm thinking like somewhere around like somewhere between like 20 and 30 feet.
And what's going on with the other bikers? Like, what's that scene?
The other bikers.
Were they just like stopping and watching like, holy shit?
Oh no, they were kind of spinning back around, and they are heading towards the Mustang.
So seeing that they're coming back in and seeing that his car already has holes in it, he's going to kick it in reverse and aim to pin it into the nose of one of the bikes that's coming back while driving in reverse. He's a very good driver.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. I see what you're trying to do. Okay, I got it.
So if they're looping around the back, he's going to look back through the back window, slam on the gas in reverse, and try to smash into the noses of one of the bikes.
Okay. All right. Let's do a wits and drive roll. And so that's...
So 6.
Yeah, that's going to be a 6.
60-10?
Yeah, 60-10. Alright, so that's... Alright, so... I'm gonna say it's a difficulty of 6. So...
That's a failure, right?
Yeah, that's... you got 2 successes out of 6.
But then the crit fails, so doesn't that
Oh
subtract?
yeah, that does subtract 1. Okay, so yeah, so... You don't quite meet the mark. So you go into reverse. Your plan's solid. You slam on the gas and just zoom backwards. And then the bikes, they maneuver past you and start heading towards Karoline and Abraham. And then you see also Ethan, who got out of the car before you went into reverse. He's kind of scrambling towards the both of them, and one of the bikers like whips out this long chain and starts like swinging it and just slams it kind of like a whip into Ethan's back and knocks the poor guy down on the ground.
Catalina will remember that. As I said, no one fucks with their boys.
And there's no way, as great as his car is, He's in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
They've already blown past him. Like, there's no way he's getting there, at least until a couple seconds. You know,
Yeah.
so he'll throw it and drive with the intention of driving back over there. But with Carolina down, Abraham, Ethan, like, he's not going to be able to just plow through. So he's going to start driving back over there, and just when he gets close enough, after whatever action takes place, he's going to put it in park and then get out to join the scuff.
Okay. All right. And then, so we're going to pan the camera back around to Carolina as, let's see, as you're still kind of in the throes of this frenzy.
So does she see that Ethan got hurt too?
Yeah, let's say that.
All right, because that's her next target then.
Yeah,
Whoever fucks with her boys is going to get dead.
yeah. And so you hear just the squeal of wheels as Gerald goes into reverse and then back forward, and you watch as Ethan gets whipped across the back with this heavy chain and knocked down on the ground. You see Abraham is still moving and alive, but whatever happened while he was, he got launched out of the car, he's having some trouble getting up. And the bikers are definitely going to go in for another swing. And you see, you recognize Cyrus as he kind of turns his bike around again, kind of driving past, as one of his bikers kind of whipped Ethan down. He kind of swings around, and he's turning his attention on you. Do you want to say your focus is
On the guy that hit Ethan.
on the guy that hit Ethan? Okay. So
She's very predictable that way.
oh yeah, okay. And so with your celerity moving at superhuman speeds, I believe for the duration of the scene. So you rush and... Well, how do you want to knock this guy off his bike?
Just grab him by the neck.
Grab him by the
Hopefully break it.
neck? Okay. Alright. And so you rush forward and you just pick him up off of his bike.
Which isn't hard.
Which is not hard at all. And the bike kind of goes forward for about another 10 feet before it just kind of spirals out. And do you want to just crush his windpipe? Okay. And so, well, how about you describe it?
Yeah, she's gonna grab him and throw him to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause she's not strong.
Yeah.
Like, in this frenzy, I'm sure she can do it, but she knows her limits, so she's mostly just gonna use the weight to her advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna throw him down and then just use the butt of her heel
Mm-hmm.
and just crush his entire neck.
Okay. Yeah, so you catch him by the neck, you crush his windpipe in your grip, and as you throw him down to the ground, you hear him gasping for breath before you just crush his neck
Like,
with
no
his step.
hesitation.
Yeah. Alright, and then that is when Cyrus is going to swoop in on his bike and take a swing. And what he's going to do is he's actually going to he's going to jump off of his bike while you're on top of his dude. And he's going to take a swing with this chain that he's got. So
Do I roll to resist it, or?
yeah, so So it's gonna be your stamina pool, and that's gonna be your soak, basically.
Okay. So 2d10?
Yeah, so 2d10. Alright.
6 and a 9.
6 and a 9. So, gonna resist 2 points of damage, basically. And then... Just needs a moment to... Okay. So, he is going to inflict 1 point of damage. So
that'd be bruised?
Yes. So it's gonna be just the 1 slash. So that's like bashing damage. Like, somebody punches you or something. So it would rough up a normal human, but for a vampire, it's barely nothing. And let's see. So that's 2 dead, and then so Cyrus and 1 guy left. All right, and so let's see. So Gerald, what would you like to do?
So Silas just came at her with the chain.
Yes.
At this point, Gerald has parked, right?
Yes.
And he's still on his bike.
He hopped off his bike.
Okay, he's off his bike and he
Yeah.
whacked her with the chain.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's going to slam the door to his car, begin sprinting towards him, and gonna clench both of his hands into fists, and his hands are gonna kind of take on the form of liquid metal.
Okay.
As they harden completely, his fingers are gonna go completely stiff to the point where you can't even move them, and they're weighed down. As he is gonna go into protein.
Okay.
The second form of it, and he's gonna leap in and try to punch through the jaw of this guy.
Okay. So I want you to spend a blood point for the protein, and then roll strength and brawl.
Brawl. So 4 is 37.
So 7d10. All right, and then
2 crit fails.
okay.
Do you think he could maybe get advantage since he's coming at him from behind?
Yeah. So I'm thinking. You know what? Go ahead and roll again. We'll just steal something from D&D and have you roll again, and call it advantage. All right. So
It's a little better.
yeah, a little better. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll for his soaking damage. He doesn't have any fortitude, so it's just the 3d10. And I'm gonna say he has to beat what you rolled. So he has to beat a 6 and 2 8s. And so he absorbs 2 of that, but you're hitting him pretty hard with protein. So I'm gonna say that's gonna be like a lethal. So you punch through his jaw, and you can hear like the snap of bones as like you break his jaw.
Hell yeah.
And you just like dislodge his jaw, and yeah. So let's go with that, and then Karoline, what would you like to do?
Well, she's gonna be reeling from the hit that she did take. But as soon as she realizes that she's not alone, she's just gonna fucking bum rush him and try to take a chomp out of him.
Okay.
Like, she's in a frenzied state. She can't be reasoned with right now.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. And then so.
she doesn't want to kill him yet.
Okay.
Because she knows that he's the leader.
Okay.
But she still wants him dead, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so
that makes
she's
sense.
just gonna beat the shit out of him.
Okay. So let's go with
Feral little goblin.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say.
I might actually change her height. That way she's not tall.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like she would be shorter
Mm-hmm.
if she came from like the 1400s.
Oh, yeah.
1500s.
Yeah.
So, probably 5'2" tops.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's roll a 60-10 representing your celerity, and we're basically gonna say you're using your dexterity to try to hit this guy.
Yep. Another fucking crit!
Wow.
Holy shit.
You know what? Forget playing D&D ever again. I think vampire is your game.
I think so too.
Yeah, so 4 successes.
One of them's a crit.
Let's see. You don't have any dice in melee, but we're gonna say that hits. So you chomp down on this neo-Nazi vampire biker's neck, and you just start drinking. And so, let's do a self-control. Let's do.
Does she have to stop herself?
Oh, she doesn't have to.
Because I don't think that she would choose to
Okay.
at this point.
All right. Okay. So she would know this is a thing. So you can drink another vampire dry of blood, but you can take it a step further and try to consume their soul.
Yeah,
Yeah?
she's gonna fucking do it.
Okay. All right.
She's a fucking occultist. Of course that she'd do that.
All right. So I'm gonna say you start doing that and start drinking him dry. Gerald, are you going to intervene at all?
No.
No? Okay. And so the last biker left.
Would
Fucking coward.
Would Gerald have a chance to go after him in the car, or is he long gone?
I'm gonna say he's not gone yet. But as soon as
What about hopping on a bike? Because he's great at driving.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guarantee Gerald knows how to get on a bike, and he knows a bike is faster than his car.
oh yeah, you can hop on a bike and go after him.
That's what Gerald will do. If the other guy's still in range, Gerald's a thrill seeker. He will literally gun this thing
Okay.
and try and catch up to that guy.
All right. So yeah, you can totally do that. He, like, the remaining biker, he slows down a little bit once he realizes that Cyrus is down and what Karoline is doing. And then I'm going to say that gives you a chance to hop on a bike and go after this guy. So we're going to make that a drive-in wits roll as you slam on the gas and go after this remaining guy. So that is gonna be wits and drive, so 60-10. And
So it's 4 successes.
hold on. Alright, yeah, so since this is part of your, like, thrill seeker personality, I'm actually gonna lower the difficulty to 5. So you've got all successes, so that's gonna be 4, and then that 1 cancels out the 5, and you also got a crit, so I'm gonna say that's a 5. So 5 successes, and you just zoom down after this guy. Poor fella doesn't even know what hit him. What do you want to try to do? You catch up to him.
What I'm gonna how fast is he going?
He's going as fast as his bike can take him.
Is he wearing a helmet?
He's not wearing a helmet.
Leathers?
He is wearing leather.
what kind of road are we on right now? And is there any anything that is gonna split him apart if I try to kick his bike over?
I assume it's like a dirt road, country road.
I'm gonna say it's a dirt road.
Okay, with all that in mind, Gerald's gonna lean his foot over and just kick the side of the guy's bike and try to tip it.
Okay. Yeah, and then I'm gonna have him try to not tip over, and he has to beat your number of successes. And since that's 5, there's no way he's gonna make that. Oh,
Is that a tie?
it's a tie. So he manages to kind of regain control after you kick him. But there's no way he's gonna get ahead of you. And so now it's this kind of like neck and neck race of a sort.
And now he's aware of me.
Yeah, now he's aware of you. And so he tries to kind of like break off the dirt road and into like the rocks. Do you want to try to pursue him?
Oh yeah, Gerald's full out chase.
Okay, so go and make another 6d10 roll for me. Alright, and then... So that's another 6 successes. So you follow him, and you are handling this... You're handling your bike better than he is. And there's a point where he ends up kind of crashing into this boulder as you like try to kind of like get close and drive into him, and he's not paying attention as he's trying to drive away, and then he hits this boulder and goes flying and tumbles through all these rocks.
Oh shit.
And so he tumbles, and like he's definitely broken a few bones from this fall, and you can get the chance to confront him. He's not going anywhere. He tries to move, but he's
definitely not.
Yeah, he's definitely not going anywhere.
This dude would lose a shitload of skin too.
Yeah, he's roughed up, and you can tell right away this guy isn't a vampire. He's one of the ghouls, kind of like Karolina's servants.
What Gerald's gonna do is it's gonna be tough with his kind of fucking liquefied metal hands.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna do his best to prop the guy up and throw him in front of him on the bike, and he's gonna drive back towards Karolina.
Okay.
To kind of interrogate this guy if he's in any shape to talk.
Yeah, he can talk, and like as you kind of loom over him, and he kind of assumes you're gonna kill him, and he's gonna like, wait, stop! They offered us more. They offered us 2,000 and an extra 50 if we killed any pack that went after Sawyer.
What are you, a fucking moron? Karolina offered you more cash too. Hey, look how you end up. Who offered you money? Who? Who's offering you this cash?
I only know his name. I don't know who he's with. He's Mr. Galt. His name was Mr. Galt. He offered us 200,000 for Sawyer.
Mr. Galt, you didn't see a face? You didn't have a face?
I didn't break the deal, man. It was Cyrus, but
Where is he now?
the guy is with
Oh,
Gerald
I
on
thought that he
yeah.
brought him back yet.
Yeah. But yeah, this biker, he says the rest of the gang took him to Barstow. We're gonna meet them there and exchange the money.
And where's our fucking... He can't remember the word that Karolina used. The fucking guy. Where's the guy we're after?
He's going to Barstow.
So he's there. The guy that wants this, that was offering you the cash, is there. I'll tell you what. You're hopping on this bike with me. We're going to drive back and see Silas getting the life sucked out of him. And you're going to take a little trip with us there. And I'll tell you what. If your story doesn't add up, you're going to wish you died from this bike fall.
Yeah, and this guy's in no shape to move, so you just like pick him up like he's a rag doll and slap him on the bike and drive him over. So in the meantime, Carolina, you suck Cyrus dry, and it's just the sweet, sweet taste of Vampire Vitae. And let's see. Trying to think of how we're gonna do this. Let's see. Yeah, so you drink them dry, and then there's a point where there's no blood anymore, and it just seems like you're just sucking down air. But then you catch something ethereal, let's say, and it's thicker than blood, and just the euphoria is indescribable as you suck the soul out of Cyrus and commit what's basically the original sin of the first Cainite, or the first vampire.
And this would, like, be good in her sect's eyes, correct? I feel like it
yeah.
would be.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Plus, it was, in her eyes, it was righteous because it was her property that got damaged.
Yeah. And so, since Cyrus is the same generation as you, you don't lower your generation, but I'm gonna say you do get the chance to steal one of his disciplines.
Alright, what has he got?
So I'm gonna go ahead and show you his sheet. I'm gonna put that in your journal, and then you should be able to see it now.
There we go.
So I'm gonna say you get to steal, let's say 2 dots. 2 dots worth of his disciplines. So he's got celerity, he's got presence, and he has potence.
All 3 of them are so good. Because potence, that's the one where he hits harder.
Yeah, so potence would add like an extra point of damage to your hits.
Alright, and then presence, that's just kind of...
Presence would be what Elise has.
Yeah.
So presence is, you can get people's attention. Hold on, let me look up the power list. And then celerity, it basically gives you extra actions in combat.
I'll probably go with celerity.
Celerity? Okay.
Then just put it at 3.
Hold on, let me show you the presence powers. So, yeah, for presence, it's awe, which you get people's attention, and dread gaze, which you strike just unbearable terror into them.
I'm gonna go with celerity.
Okay. Alright, so Cyrus meets his final death, and you steal his power of celerity. So now you have 3 dots in celerity.
Fuck yeah.
And then And then, just so that you're aware, there are ways that other vampires can see that you have done this.
And that's fine. She usually wears a veil anyway.
Oh no, like it's like if you have enough points into Auspex, you can see other people's auras, and then if they've committed like it's called diablerie,
Okay.
and they can see like the stain on your soul.
She feels no fucking regrets.
Yeah.
Let's go, boy.
So yeah, so
How are her boys? That's her main focus
Alright.
right now. How are her boys?
so Abraham is roughed up really bad. Ethan he's gonna be badly bruised, but he seems to be okay. Abraham, though, it might take a more thorough medical examination, but oh man, I want to say he's definitely broken something, maybe a few ribs, and then since he was like leaning out of the car so much, I want to say he's probably broken a hip too.
Can she heal him?
I
I keep muting that way I don't get picked up on Thomas's mic, but can she heal him?
Let's see. Let me see. What was that merit that he had? It was like healing touch, right?
Yeah, healing touch.
I want to say yeah. I kind of want to look at the specifics of that though. But yeah, I'm gonna say yes, she can. And so okay, so ghouls kind of have their own limited healing, but I'd say you could definitely help out with that. Oh yeah, healing touch. Healing touch. Okay, so the healing touch looks like.
Unless it's just a on yourself sort of thing.
Yeah, so normally vampires can only steal the wounds they inflict from feeding by licking them, but with the touch you can achieve the same effect, closing the puncture wounds left by drinking blood. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna say you can help him heal by feeding him some of your blood.
She's gonna do that since she's fucking juiced up right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. So how many blood points do you want to spend on healing him?
As much as it takes for him to get up.
Okay. So I'm gonna say let's go with 3.
Alright.
So 3 blood points to get him back moving. He's still really roughed up. It's gonna take him a few days to fully recover. But the blood definitely helps.
How is feeding him this? Is she like biting herself and then?
How is Carolina doing that?
She's probably biting herself and then giving him her wrist.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Rolls up her sleeve a little bit, very dainty like.
And the ghouls, they're not like vampires, because I know vampires like they don't want to get off once they're on, right? Like, don't you have to resist getting off sucking? Like if you're,
Yep.
like if,
Yeah,
but
so-
they're not vampires, right?
Yeah,
So
they're not vampires, but they are addicted to the blood. So most likely Carolina would have to forcefully tear her wrist away once she's decided that he's had enough.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and you do that, and I'm gonna say during that, that's around when Gerald comes back with the bike and the biker.
And he'll see her feeding Abraham. I'll put the kickstand down, leave the guy. He'll take the key out of the bike, leave the guy leaning up on the handlebars, and what was the name of the location that he shared?
Barstow.
Barstow.
And
Gonna walk up, and think a lot of what we're looking for is in Barstow. We got a guy that offered these jabronis more cash to see us dead, to grab our cash, but the parcel we're looking for is there. The guy that offered them more money is there. And I told this sack of shit that he's coming with us, and if everything he says isn't there, he's gonna wish he was fucking dead.
Yeah, and this biker, he's roughed up from what you can see, Carolina, and like whatever Gerald did to him, he's like, this guy definitely wishes he was dead already. He's all bloodied up. Like there's like skin that's been like scraped off of his arms because he's wearing this like kind of like sleeveless jacket. And his face is all roughed up, and he's just all bloody and beat up. And there's like probably like a rock like lodged into his arm or something. Maybe a few sticks, who knows?
Who knows? It's a mystery. But she's gonna wait for Abraham to wake up, and she's gonna tend to what was the other one's name? Ethan. I knew it was an E name. But she's gonna tend to both of them and just say, "All right, let's go." And it's clear that she's pissed. She's still seething, but she's like totally momming it up right now.
Yeah, and I'd say by now the frenzy has definitely passed.
Yeah. But she's still like actively seething. She's not frenzying, but she's just pissed.
And there's no way this guy's bloody ass is making a mess of Gerald's car. So he's gonna pop up in the trunk. He's got a series of towels and stuff in there. He's gonna proceed to wrap the guy up in the towels and then drop his body in the trunk.
Okay. Alright, and then this guy isn't in any condition to fight back. He's just like groaning and wincing in pain as you just wrap him up in the towels and then shove him in the trunk.
And Carolina's probably actually gonna put her boys in the back seat. That way they can kind of relax a little bit.
Okay.
What does Carolina's face look like right now?
I'm actually working on that right now. I can
Just
stream real quick.
Yeah, just so I can know what Gerald's looking at.
She's absolutely hideous. Give me a sec. I'm editing a piece that I found. I'm gonna stream.
Oh, holy shit.
Right here.
Yeah. So, I think this is the first time he's getting a good look at it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, with all the adrenaline and stuff, like he's gonna sit down in the driver's seat, turn the engine on. First of all, he's mauling about his car. He is fucking pissed. But he's gonna look over as Carolina sits down, and like, he's gonna look. It's not gonna process in. He's gonna look forward, and he's gonna shoot a look back. Like, what? What?
And she's just gonna shoot him a fucking look. Like, don't you even dare right now.
and he's gonna let that process be like, oh no, the bike out there, I'm looking, thing's vintage. Just thinking I'm gonna have to, come back here later on, right? I'm shocked.
And can she see right through that? It's clear that it's not the first time that she's had people been.
Could I roll manipulation or something?
Yeah, let's do, so...
I mean, he's not telling a good lie at all.
Yeah.
You know what, Lyssa, how about you do a, perception and subterfuge? So that's gonna be a 4d10. And then, Joe, you do manipulation and subterfuge.
I rolled really bad.
Roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't got much to beat.
I got, what, 1 success because 2 minus 1?
Yeah, so 1 success. So you beat Lyssa's roll.
Yeah, so she's gonna kind of look at you and just go, sure.
And he'll kind of fix his posture a little bit. And engine's already started, and he's gonna start heading off towards the destination.
Okay. All right, so let's see. All right, so Barstow is about 3 hours away. Do you guys want to try to contact the bishop?
Yeah, we're gonna explain what happened.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. So we need like a payphone or something, right?
Yeah, like a payphone or something.
Yeah. So Gerald will stop at the nearest gas station or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's gonna look pretty weird with a bashed out window, bullet holes in the car.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's covered in blood.
Right. Like I think by the time they get there, he's gonna maybe not pull up to like the lit up gas station, but more so a side street.
Mhm.
And he's gonna look over at Karoline and be like, I think, well, Gerald doesn't look too bad, right?
Mhm.
Nothing's really. So either Gerald, he's gonna say, all right, well, either me or Jabroni One over there should probably make the call.
And she's gonna nod. She's wanting to stay with her boys anyway,
Yeah.
so.
I'd say you guys know it's probably better if one of you make the call.
Okay, yeah. So Gerald's gonna go ahead and head towards the payphone.
Okay.
He'll probably look at the information he was provided, explaining what Carolina looks like, the location of that guy. I'm sure it has a phone number there,
Mhm.
and he'll call up. What's his name?
Yeah, Bishop Zeta.
Zeta. That's it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna call up Bishop Zeta.
Yeah, and but yeah, you try to call, and unfortunately, because of the day and age, you're not able to make a connection. So it's like you're not able to reach him. So he doesn't answer, or maybe like the connection's bad.
Is there like the person that initially, like the guy in the Sabbat that provided this opportunity
Mhm.
to Gerald?
Yes.
I assume Gerald would have a way of reaching him. Can he try and contact that person? 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
He wants to give some breakdown of the situation, even if it can't be to the bishop, but at
Mhm.
least to the guy that hired them, so that they are caught up. Somebody's caught up on what's going on.
Okay.
He's gonna try calling that contact.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna say like maybe one of your fellow gangrels that has been kind of mentoring you in the Sabbat, kind of informed you on this job and was like, "Hey, you want in?" So His name is going to be Matthias. He's this
Matthias.
Matthias. So he's this Austrian guy.
I'm gonna leave some notes real quick. If just give me 1 second, I'm rolled 20. Well, can you just start the name of the bishop again? That the bishop that gave us this job. The one that we're working for?
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm gonna type it into the Roll20 chat.
Okay. And I'll leave it in my notes. So Bishop Zeta. And the name of the Gangrel. Matthias. Okay, so he is reaching out to Matthias right now.
Yeah. And it takes a few moments, but you do manage to reach Matthias. In this decade, according to the little module book, answering machines are pretty rare, so you do manage to get a hold of him. And he's like, "Who's this?"
Hey, it's good old Gerald, man. What's going on your end?
Oh, not much. Just doing a little bit of hunting, you know?
Right. You know the job you hooked me up with over here with the good old Bishop Zeta?
Yeah. How is the bishop?
Kind of looks like a scumbag. First and foremost, I wasn't aware the bishop was wearing a Hawaiian shirt with a beer gut, sucking hookers dry that are blowing cocaine. But that's neither here nor there. This shit went south quick. I mean, I'm telling you, we roll up, we go to the bar, they try dragging us off somewhere. Hours pass by. We find their location by this barn. They ride up on us on bikes. My partner over here, Karoline, sucks this dude dry. I run this dude off a bike. Now we're on our way to find out that they were offered a larger sum of money to whack us, steal the cash. But they got the dude. But we're on our way there now. I tried calling Zeta. He didn't pick up. I just wanted to relay this to somebody now to kind of get it out in the air. Maybe you can get a hold of Zeta later on, pass the word along, something.
And there's a small pause before Matthias kind of answers and says, "Yeah, I'll get the information to the bishop."
All right, I appreciate it. And maybe some backup, you know, if anyone's available, you know, because this shit's starting to heat up, you know. And he's gonna offer the name of the place that they're on their way to.
Okay. And Matthias is gonna say, "I'll see what I can do."
All right. Thanks, Matthias. Take care, bro. All right, I'm out of here.
All right. Hear from
And
you
hello.
later. See ya.
Gonna head back to the car, look over to Karoline. Yeah, Zeta didn't pick up. I managed to reach out to my Gangrel buddy, Matthias. He said he's gonna try and relay the information and maybe even get us some backup should we need it.
And she's just gonna nod and say, "Good. We'll need it. For sure."
And they probably, I assume it didn't take them too long to find a gas station, so they probably still have a lengthy ride.
Oh,
What
yeah.
what time of night is it? Like how much nighttime do they have left?
Let's see. You met the guys at around 10. You waited 2 hours. I want to say it's like 1 or 2 in the morning right now. So you're burning daylight. So if you did want to make it to Barstow and then stay for the day there, you could probably just barely make it before sunrise.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll drive as far as he can to get to Barstow and then find probably another motel or either that or it's probably not a good idea to bring him into a motel because of how bloody they are.
Mhm.
So he's going to get those car covers, find a remote location close by and cover the whole thing up
Mm-hmm.
to block the sun out
Okay.
and probably try and call it a night there.
Okay. So Abraham and Ethan are gonna kind of
camp outside?
Yeah, they're gonna camp outside. And I'm gonna say the biker also gave you the address of the place that they're gonna meet up with Mr. Galt. And I'd say let's wrap it up for now,
Sounds
and then
good.
we'll continue this next time.
So Mr. Galt is the guy